In maintaining a mandate to promote the literary arts of the Virgin Islands, the Department of Culture continues to offer assistance to local authors in launching their books through official book launching ceremonies. Today, the Department of Culture collaborates with author and local artist Mr. Rubin Vanderpool and co-author Cedric Carville to promote the book launching ceremony for the Ridge Road Murals, a book that eloquently describes the beautifully crafted murals that portray scenes of what was once the bedrock of Virgin Islands life. For the Department of Information and Public Relations and the Ministry of Education and Culture, I am your GIS host, Bria Smith, and on this program, Director of Culture, Mrs. Luce Hodge Smith, and author and artist, Mr. Rubin Vanderpool, join me to discuss the highly anticipated launch of the book, The Ridge Road Murals, set to be launched on Thursday, May 25th at the Central Administration Complex at 5 o'clock p.m. Welcome, Mr. Vanderpool. Welcome, Mrs. Hodge Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you
For having us.
So, Mr. Vanderpool, I actually want to start the interview by asking you to tell us a bit about yourself. How does an accomplished local artist come to become an author?
Well, actually, I don't yet consider myself to be an author. Yes, I have written one book. I hope that later on you'll be able to call me and I'll be able to accept the title author. I have been painting, and in painting I have been telling the story of the Virgin Islands people. At least I've attempted to do that. And I see this as an extension of painting, actually, of telling the story. I've told the story with the brush and the canvas, and well, in certain respects, I need to complement the story with the written word. So it's a natural progression, I think, from the brush to the pen.
So can you take us through the creative process of actually putting the brush to pen?
Actually, before you start a painting, you must have an idea. And you have to flesh that idea out. You have to do some research on it. And by the time you finish doing some research on it, you have a fair amount of information that you can work with. And you know whether it's a feasible idea to proceed with this painting or not. You do that, and then you proceed to your painting if you decide to do that. And you finish it, and you put it to soak. You put it so that you hide it from yourself, so you don't see it. And after a while, you take it out fresh and look at it with fresh eyes to see if really this thing that you did makes sense. And if it does to you, you go ahead and, do what you have to do with it. If you want to publish it, you want to sell it, fine. Yeah. Sometimes you have to add some more to it. But it's practically the same process to me with the writing. I write according to the ideas I have, but there's a marriage between the writing and the painting, because it's the same ideas that I have moving, with the painting, with the writing, sorry.
So with the Ridge Road Murals, that has become an iconic BVI, can I say landmark?
Or a sign.
A site. Tourists and residents are like visit the murals, and it tells a story of our Virgin Islands history and our past. So what I want to find out now is, how does that book capture the essence of the paintings? What does the book tell us about those paintings?
Well, first of all, the book has the same pictures, and the descriptions go along with the images of the paintings. So you can see right there a tour. You can have a tour of the wall in the book itself, just by reading through from cover to cover. Of course, you know, there's nothing like the real thing. There's nothing to substitute for the real thing. But you can get a tour of the wall by looking at looking through the book.
But I want to turn it now to Mrs. Hodge-Smith and trying to find out, why is this book so important to culture and preserving our history?
Well, it's an addition to what we already have, and it's welcomed. As Mr. Vanderpool said, it's from brush to pen, and the actual images are in the book. So what you've actually added is the history behind and what it really means. What does each image depict? And this is a great opportunity for us to be told back in the 1950s, because it's about life in the Virgin Islands in the 1950s. And it gives you an history, not just the visual part of it, but the written part of it. And of course, I'm sure some of this information that Mr. Vanderpool has in the book, along with Mr. Cedric, we'll talk about him as well, came from oral history. So it's a combination of visual arts and literary arts, or I would say visual arts meeting literary arts, which is fantastic. So it's important for us to have this information, not just for our visitors, because we have thousands of visitors view it every year by passing through. Residents see it every day. So our students go there to get the pictures, and so this information, the book will actually give us some idea of what. Okay, you have a picture. What does this mean? Why you selected this particular image to draw or to paint, and give us the background behind it. So that's how I see it in terms of the book being important.
So I know that the Department of Culture assists local authors in launching their books. Why is this assistance important?
Well, as we said before, and many times before, it's to support the authors, especially as Mr. Vanderpool said. He doesn't see himself as an author because it's only one book. But I do see it. I see him as an author because it's a book. It's published, so you've accomplished the title of author. So it's for us to promote the book and to promote the author, and to encourage others to really buckle down and find a story. As he said, it starts with an idea, and if you have an idea, just explore it, and just know that at the end of the tunnel you have the support, because we do need some more. We need some more books like these that will tell us about our history and our culture and our heritage. So if anybody out there have an idea, we encourage them to put pen to paper and just bring it out, and we will help them to promote it. That's our role. We can't help you to publish it, but we can help you to promote it and get the word out and encourage people to buy copies. Yeah.
Mr. Vanderpool, I know you have a plethora of paintings. So can we expect more books to describe or depict and explain those paintings?
Yes, actually I have a plan. I have just what you talked about just now. I need to put them together, along with others that I'm working on at this time. I want to put them together. But I think there's a wider story that I need to tell about the people of the Virgin Islands I can't call it the gospel according to me, but it's my little story I have to tell based upon my own experiences of life, and I have lived here quite a number of years. But I do intend to work on that. But I would like to mention some of the motives behind the paintings, the description of the paintings. I noticed that there is a dire need for information about us as a people. And I noticed that among younger members of our community, I noticed among visitors. You know, when you go away, you normally would like to know something about the country that you live in. Mm-hmm. You want to know about the people. And not only what they do, the lives that they pursue, mm-hmm. but you know what has made them into that people that they are. I believe it's the same with many people who come here. They want to know about us, want the background. It's only reasonable. Visitors, residents, it applies to those people too. So I believe that lots of people need to want to know more about our culture, our history, what has gone into making us what we are. And with that consciousness, I have really launched out on that book, along with the need, the direct need of an interpretation of the painting themselves on the wall, because that was needed. Mm-hmm. That background is needed, that background is really needed. And I believe that you're going to see more of that sort of thing sometime.
We look forward to it, because I remember the first time that my grandparents took me to see the murals, and the first photo or the first painting that I noticed was the one with the young lady holding the tail. Yeah. And immediately I pointed to it and asked my grandmother about it, and she recollected a time of when they had to do that to travel to school. So I actually look forward to reading the book and understanding the story behind these paintings, because I think it is important. So Mrs. Smith, I just wanted to ask now, how can aspiring authors reach out to you to seek the assistance?
Well, they simply call us, let us know that they have published a book, and we sit down with the author and decide on the date when we're going to launch and work out the logistics. There aren't that many, of course, but we have a mutual understanding who's responsible for what the department is able to offer, and where the department is able to assist, and what the responsibilities are of the author. So we sit down, we talk, and we discuss, and it's hard to say we're planning, because we do have our planning days, but when it comes to launching books or having ceremonies, we put it in our work plan. But it's when the authors call, and then we adjust ourselves to suit their needs. So it's when we get a call, because we don't know who's writing. That's true, and which is very surprising, pleasantly surprising, to receive a call and said, "I need your help," or "Can you launch our book?" And what's happening is that the authors are doing most of the legwork, and then they will come to us and say, "Can you be a part of?" And we gladly agree to do so. Nice. Yes.
So any upcoming initiatives, the department, we can look forward
to? Yes, we do have some, but I really would want to mention that we do have 3 more book launches coming up. And you'll hear more about them. The one is going to be on June 6th, the other one on June 20th, and the other one June 29th. So, but it's busy for us, but we're happy. We're really, really happy to assist the authors in this manner, and it's encouraging. So we look forward to receiving more calls from aspiring authors or those that are already established. And we like to add to our list of local authors, which is fantastic, and it's growing. We're very pleased.
Suppose I give you too many calls.
Oh, that's okay. We'll take them all.
Mr. Vanderpool, before we close, is there anything else you'd like to add about the book or anything?
I would like to mention my co-author, Mr. Cedric Carville. We have had a long professional relationship. We have worked together for a number of years, painting together. I've been painted a number of walls around the territory, privately. Publicly, we worked on 2 walls. That is the one that he was contracted to do at East End. I did 1 panel. I didn't have enough time to do more. He wanted me to do more. I did one at Far Hill, where he painted a number of them. We worked together there, and it was easy to extend that sort of working relationship to something else, the actual writing, because we both did some legwork with regards to research, and he worked on the graphic side of it, and of course I would need somebody to bounce ideas from. Yes, I also, bounce idea off my wife, keep bouncing them off her, and you can't write in a vacuum. You have to deal with other people. Well, Mr. Turnbull and myself worked on that quite well, I think, and we finally were able to do this.
Nice. Well, congratulations to you and Mr. Turnbull. I look forward to this book, and I'm encouraging everyone to purchase it. Thank you, Mrs. Hodge-Smith. Thank you, Mr. Vanderpool. It's been a pleasure having you with us. On this program, I have been speaking with Director of the Department of Culture, Mrs. Luce Hodge-Smith, and co-author and artist, Mr. Rubin Vanderpool, on the upcoming book launch for the book, The Ridge Road Murals, set to be launched on Thursday, May 25th at the Central Administration Complex in the Breezeway at 5 o'clock p.m. For the Department of Information and Public Relations and the Ministry of Education and Culture, I have been your GIS host, Bria Smith. For all your government official news and latest updates, visit the government website at www.bvi.gov.vg or follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at BVI Government.